Hey everybody, thank you so much for watching one of my interviews. You guys are about to hear some exciting content announcement that you haven't heard me talk about before, and these gentlemen are going to help me bring it up here and talk about it here. We're at an event in Lafayette. It's the Patriot Forum. You've heard me talking about it, but the Patriot Forum is bringing together a lot of people who are very passionate about all of our freedoms, and so are these gentlemen with Turning Point. And let me tell you the content first, and then we're going to let these guys introduce themselves. What's happening is, I believe in America, the people who cannot vote are the ones that are having to live with taxation without representation. Now, I'm not advocating for people under 18 to vote, but I am advocating for younger people under 18 to get more involved, not just with groups like the Patriot Forum, but with Turning Point USA. They have a young people, and we're going to talk about that later, but let's introduce our guest today. You are?
Spencer Crump.
Spencer, we're going to have to go share that mic. And I know who you are.
Lincoln Trump, it's a pleasure.
And you are?
I'm Jackson Robinson.
Jackson, nice to meet you. Guys, I just now gave you the content. I think that your generation is not only receiving taxation without representation, but if your generation doesn't do anything about it, you guys are going to have to live a whole generation without, with trying to fix it. Because the problems that are created today is going to take about a generation to fix. What do you think about that, Lincoln?
Well, first off, I mean, you see it a lot in education. You'll have people come in and they'll want to reform education, or they'll want to push forward all these policies like 4-day school weeks and things like that without having any idea of actually what it's like to be in high school. They push for policies that they don't really know a whole lot about. And I think that students as a whole need to get more involved in politics, not necessarily through voting, but through participating in things like Turning Point USA and through these types of outreach programs which seek to connect teenagers and people like me with the community around us.
So do you feel like you're going to bear the burden of taxation without representation in your lifetime?
Well, if I could vote, that would be good. However, I've noticed, particularly in some of my classes, that, for example, I have an AP psychology class, and it is about half people who are self-proclaimed communists. And I think that's the issue. When you have young people who don't really understand a whole lot and who don't have a whole lot of experiences, I don't think voting's the best for them. I think other types of outreach, like what we're doing right now, is better because it allows for them to get experiences and allows for them to experience new things that can help shape their political socialization.
And get informed. Jax, what about you there? The question for the hot topic is, do you feel like you're experiencing taxation without representation for your young age?
I mean, you can see with there's multiple signs at LHS which we see that are not really representing all of LHS. They're representing a minority group, and I would like to see some more signs that advocate for people like me, a white male, which is very hated on in these days. So I do believe that we would see taxation without representation in my generation.
Because right now, you're not getting a vote for the people that are in office. And again, not that I'm advocating for young people under 18 to vote, but I'm advocating for young people to get involved. What are you doing to get more people involved to save your generation for when you are able to get out in the workforce?
Well, as you can see, I'm advertising for Jeff Landry right here. So I think he's a really good person who can help young people with taxation without representation. Okay,
well, we're not advocating for any candidates right now. We're advocating for youth to be able to do that. But I appreciate your passion that you're getting involved in another way. And that is your candidate choice. But for other people who might have another candidate, just getting involved with a candidate. I always tell people this. Sometimes, even when you don't have a particular candidate in the fight, you pick a candidate to get involved with. You learn the process, because the best way to get heard is if you're helping a candidate, even at a young age, later in life or as they get elected, you have more of a voice because now you have a relationship with somebody that you've helped get elected. So Spencer, what about you? What's your answer on taxation without representation?
Well, I mean, what you said was absolutely correct, and I agree with Lincoln 100% as well. Being able to not vote in our elections and having to bear the burden of those challenges does not seem like a proper use of our American beliefs in freedom and democracy and all those sorts of things. And it's not really that right that we're being represented by people that we don't have a say in.
But and so my other question is not that my point, not that I believe that people under 18 should vote, but people under 18 should be more involved. Do you think that, and I'll ask this question first, that being under 18, that you could have as much influence on the system by just being involved under 18 without being able to vote?
Well, absolutely. You can go to things like this venue here, where you can have your voice heard. You can join groups like Turning Point USA, like we started at LHS, to try and influence opinions, get your voice out, try and influence elections so that you can have some part in the voting process,
Right.
even if you're not.
If you got a whole bunch of young people involved, getting involved with their candidates, and they get behind a candidate that they feel supports their values, and that candidate wins, their voice is getting heard without having the right to vote. Would that be it?
Absolutely.
Well, do you have any other final words to say on this?
No, sir.
Nope, that's it. That's it easy. What about you, Lincoln? I know you're going to have more to say, Lincoln.
I always got more to say. But, yeah, I agree with Spencer. I mean, think about it. If you go to events like Patriot Forum, if you go to events like this where you can organize with like-minded people and you volunteer for campaigns and you put yourself out there, even me as a young person, I've probably had more ability to get my voice heard through these types of events than a lot of people I know who are older and who can actually vote have. This is just really a unique experience, to be able to participate in person, to get your voice heard, to go on things like this show right now, and really participate in the electoral process in other ways than simply voting.
Well, Lincoln, we'll have all you guys on again. Jax, how about you? Any final words?
I think Lincoln summed everything up.
You think so? How are you getting involved? Are you doing anything to get involved?
Well, I've of course joined Turning Point USA at the LHS chapter, and I do everything I can. Any political events, my mom will get me connected in there, and I like to network with a lot of political leaders.
So one last question. I'll let you have the final answer there. How can other people get involved in the Lafayette area?
Well, you can join if you're in high school at least, you can try to create a new chapter for Turning Point USA, or you can go and help volunteer at campaigns. That's a great way to network and really get into politics. You can have your voice heard.
I love it. Guys, thank y'all very much. I'm going to have y'all on again, so everybody else, please watch for these guys again. They're going to be on again because they are so passionate about the future of their country and their community, and they're getting involved. Thank y'all very much. Y'all have a great day.